You rock! So, that amp just died. Sure sounded like it did. There you go. How's that for live play? I think I just lost the amp. There it goes. It's gone. Okay, so this is a funny video, and I'll tell you why it's a funny video. It's hotter than bejesus here today, and we hooked up this rig because I've fallen behind doing videos again. So I have my little buddy here off a camera, and I was gonna shoot a video for a friend of mine who's been asking me about JMP stuff. And look, amp's dead. Watch. Amp's dead. So, there you go. Tube amps or digital amps you're going to have problems with. So I came on here to explain to some of you guys about the Kemper. The Kemper has its own set of problems. So I have been leaning toward using tube amp gear because I know how to work on it, and digital stuff, I'm an old guy now, and I get lost on this stuff. You follow me? And digital amp gear to me just, I don't know, it doesn't sound as good. Tubes just sound better. There, I said it, and I said it on camera. I love the Kemper, and I love a lot of the stuff that it does, but as you guys can see right now, it's completely locked up. Nobody can explain to me why it does this. I've got all the software updates. I've done everything right. And it's just locked up. It's so badly locked up. Check this out. I can't even switch over to the tuner on the chicken knob. It won't move. So you're in the middle of a gig and it does this crap, and you've got to shut it down and wait 5 minutes for it to restart. So let's see if it'll restart. There it goes. No, that's the tube amp coming back, right? Look, check it out. Turn it down because I don't want to clip the mic input. So there's the tube amp back. Feels good. So check it out. The Kemper's locked up. moved the chicken knob here. I don't know if you can see this in the video. I moved the chicken knob to tuner and the screen's still in the amp setting. So check this out. I go back. Look, I can do nothing. Nothing works at all. And the volume will work on this one or this one, but nothing else works. Check it out. Load it, exit it. I've given it 10 minutes to settle up. Won't do anything. So to my buddy out there with the JMP stuff, hey man, I'm sorry, but I've got all kinds of problems here today. But I'm really kind of disenchanted with some of the stuff going on with the Kemper, and I know Mr. Kemper's not going to like to hear that, but tough shit. It is what it is. And I've had more than one software problem with this product. And you know, I used to want to go digital for two reasons: to get rid of tubes because they wear out, and the other reason was to have something completely reliable. And it's not completely reliable. I mean, there's proof of it right there. I'm not pulling any tricks or trying to trash anybody. Love the Kemper product, but it is not a fail-safe against having problems. It's not. And I haven't done anything goofy. I'm running straight out of the headphone jack and I'm running straight into the front with my guitar cord. I'm not doing anything fancy, so that's kind of a goofy deal. So try again, try exiting out of there. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Sounds good. People have been asking me how I get the tone out of this thing. So a lot of times what really brings out the tone of the Kemper is a BBE sonic maximizer, and it's just kind of well, read up on them, they're really good. It's kind of like a phase shifter, phase canceller, not to be confused with a phase shifter like a pedal. It straightens up the sound of the speakers, and I can go into that if you guys want it, but a good BBE sonic maximizer like I have right here. I don't know if you can see that, it's dark in here. This sonic maximizer does a really great job. Now for this particular video I do not have it plugged in. I did this for a guy who's been asking me a bunch of questions about how I get the tone out of here, so let me explain to you what I got. Kemper straight into a 9100. I know this says 9200 on it, but it is a 9100. It is a patched back together piece of junk that I bought somewhere and have fixed up over the years, and I'm now having a problem where the sound is dying on me, as you guys heard earlier in the video. So I'm gonna have to finish taking it apart and figuring out what's wrong there. Probably something simple, maybe a cap or something. And one thing I want to go over with you guys is I've got the Marshall Major up here on the bench, and it's doing very well. I've really got some cool changes in that, and I can go over that with you, but I want to answer some questions. I got a couple of emails from people, and oh crud, I got a bunch of emails from people about how do I get this sound or what I like about that sound or whatever. So let me explain something to you. I like taking the Kemper through some kind of FR cabinet and a speaker cabinet. If you saw my last couple of videos, go back and check that out. It's a really great sound. Does it still sound like a tube amp? There's a lot of guys asking me that. No. If I hook directly into my Marshall Major or my JMP1, come on guys, there's just no, guys and gals, there's just no separating the fact that a tube amp just sounds better. And I don't care what anybody says. You say can't pick it out of a mix, this and that. There might be a few times when you can't pick it out of the mix, but if you're playing blues or you're playing some really good raunchy stuff, a Marshall, a Mesa Boogie, a Red Plate, a Sebago, any one of those amps, trust me, you're not going to get that profiled out of an amp, and you're not going to get it through digital gear. So that's to answer those questions. One of the other questions was, what string size do I use? And I've been kind of using 9s and 10s. I like 10s, but I like to play hard and fast, and the 10s get in my way a little bit of moving around, and it's probably because I need to have more practice. So 9s or 10s. But the other thing a tube amp does that the Kemper doesn't do, and let me just see if I can show you. So I'm going to roll up to the middle position here. That just doesn't sound as good as a tube amp when the volume's rolled off. Does it sound good? Yeah, it sounds good, but it does not sound like a throaty amplifier really breaking the power tubes up. It just doesn't. I mean, I'm starting to really try to hone in on this stuff for you guys because I'm getting a lot of questions about it. If I was going to go with an FR setup, I think I'd go with that Friedman. And the reason why is I've played one and they are bad. They are really nice. And at NAMM this year, I played a CLR, I think it is, or CRL. Do I have that dyslexically backwards? No. Whatever that is, I played a... And you stopped laughing over there. So I played one of those this year, and I know there's a lot of hype around that thing, but I really wasn't that impressed. And the Friedman, it sounded really good. Does it sound like a tube amp? No, it does not. A Kemper does not sound as good as a tube amp. I don't care what anybody says, anywhere, anyhow. I can pick them every single time. There's always a band missing out of like the mid-range. If you watch the Captain on when they did that one where it fooled them, the next video he listened really carefully to that bandwidth right in the middle, and I would say it's probably from about 100 hertz down to let's say about 320, maybe a little further than that, and you can definitely tell a difference. So for this profile and the guys out there asking me all these questions, I wish I could change to a JMP profile for you, but again, my Kemper's locked up. And so I'm going to have to shut it down and restart it and try some other stuff. But this is always what happens when I go to shoot a video. Something goes wrong, then I don't shoot the video, and then everybody complains that I don't shoot enough videos. So here's a video, like it or not. Particular patch, by the way, is a DI patch, and the reason I used a DI patch here was I'm going through the Kemper into that power amp, a 9100, and into these 30s, and I think this has RCA black plates in it for the preamp tube, preamp tubes, and the power amp tubes are Sovtex, and those are my what I've had the best luck with in a Marshall. Any of those Marshall power amps, the Sovtex really do a beautiful thing. So, but I wanted to get a video out to the people asking me all these questions. Let me think of what other questions were out there. I had them written down at one time because there was a girl out there asking me. And if it was me playing professionally again, like if I was playing every night, I wouldn't use the Kemper. I really wouldn't, and I'll tell you why. I like the Kemper, don't get me wrong. There's some bugs that need to be worked out of it, and there obviously is bugs that need to be worked out of this thing. The other problem that I have with the Kemper is I don't get the feel when I play a tube amp. And normally if I play for like a couple of 2 or 3 days just Kemper, and whether it be a solid state power amp or a tube power amp, even though the tube power amp will make it sound better, it still picks up the characteristics of whatever power amp you're putting it through, and so you don't get the versatility, let's say, of the Kemper the way it's supposed to be designed because you're picking up either the speaker cabinet or the tube amp power amp you're running it through. So to me it's like, well, wait a minute, I could just run a few pedals and then not have to worry about the digital side of the Kemper. And like in a particular power amp like this, I could run both sides of it, one clean, one dirty, and have a couple of pedals in front of it in a very small rack unit and pretty much have the same thing, and it's all tube and it really does sound better. And so I got some compliments on the JMP1 that I had and how good it sounds. There it goes, amp just died again. I can hear the fizz go out of the speaker when that amp dies. That's really weird. Something's heating up in there, or a cap's gone bad. But just a capacitor, you know, like a little battery almost. And but the problem with running the Kemper is I'm always playing going, people can tell this is digital, or I can tell it's digital, or I don't get that real feel out of it that I do a tube amplifier. You know, I went into Guitar Center the other day and they had a JVM 210 I plugged into it just with some off-the-rack guitar that was sitting there, no special nothing, thing wasn't in tune or anything. And I walked into the room, plugged in with a crappy cord into a terrible cabinet, like a Line 6 cabinet that looked like it had been dropped off the Titanic and floated at sea for a couple of years. And I plugged into the thing. It was, the JVM was beat up, and you know, they're relatively new amps, so this thing had seen some rough life itself. And I thought, how good could this sound? And I sat in front of the thing and I played for like an hour. And the truth is, I was like, man, there's just nothing like a tube amp. And so I don't want to lead or mislead anybody, but to me and for my own use, I'm steering towards tubes again. And it's because of what I've just discussed. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. But you know, and tubes, once you learn how to work on tube amps, it's fun. I do it with my little man here, and we do it on the weekends and stuff like that, and it's a lot of fun, and it's cheap. I mean, this piece now I think they've dropped them in price. I think they're what, 16 or 1800 bucks, but that's still a lot of money. And that thing will drop in value, and these tube amps will do nothing but probably go up in value, especially if you look at some of the amps like the 800s and stuff like that. I've had some of those amps for 10 years and they've just gone up in value and gone up in value. And I've had more problems recently with the Kemper crashing on me than I ever had with my tube amps. So I'm starting to weigh and kind of go, man, do I really still want to mess with this digital stuff? Now, some of the digital effects I like, and but you can take them right out of line. See here, that amp come back again. That's pretty funny. Sounds good. It still just sounds more buzzy to me or something. I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't sound as good to me when I plug into a tube amp and play that same kind of thing. That just sounds better. And if you understand how tubes work, you'll understand why it's so immediate in a tube. And we can go over that. You guys have to plummet me with some more questions, and hopefully I did a good job answering them. It was Memorial Day this weekend. I got a video I'm trying to share with you guys of something that I really love. And I want to tell you all that I love you and I miss you. I've been super busy. Remember that I've got a big family, and I apologize for that. But I do send you all the love in my heart, and hopefully next time I'll have a little better rig for you guys to listen to. But yeah, the Kemper, I don't know. I've had less problems with tube amps as of recent, so there's some software glitches in that thing. But fire your questions away at me, guys, and please like this video, share it, and subscribe it, or whatever. Or don't. You can send me some hate mail. I love on haters. So remember, help a veteran, help a kid, help somebody. If I do this for nothing the rest of my life and one of you turns and helps somebody who needs something in life, then I've done good for myself. So I'm you, Rock, and I appreciate all of you. See you later.